Alrighty, guys, I'm Morthadon bringing you guys Boruto episode 21. So I'm mostly better. I still have a little lingering, like, chest congestion and stuff. I did do my Monday reaction. I will admit it wasn't my best reaction because talking a lot agitated my, like, chest congestion and my throat a little bit. I feel better than I did then, and I'm hoping that I'll be able to do a better reaction here. And I'll be able to talk more after the episode. There's a lot of things I want to talk about at the end of my Steins Gate episode that when I ended, I realized I didn't, mainly because I was so focused on the fact that I kept talking a little bit, coughing, talking a little bit, coughing, and I'm hoping this time will be better. So if there is some coughing, I'm sorry. Also, for some reason, my fans on my computer are running a little louder than normal, so if you hear a slight humming, my mic might be picking it up. So that's me. It's not something on you guys' end, it's just something that's happening. So sorry about that. There's nothing I can really do about it right now. But yeah, so I think that's all I really wanted to say. Until we talk about what happened in episode 20, because it has been a couple weeks. Oh, and I also wanted to say that I'm gonna be doing, next week, I'll be doing 2 episodes. So this week is just 1 episode, it's just episode 21, and then next week is gonna be 22 and 23, and from what I hear, they go good together, but that's not really why I'm doing it. I'm more doing it, I actually did it without even knowing that they go good together. It's just a plan on me to catch up to where I should have been if I didn't, get sick. It's kind of like, as a sorry to you guys for missing an entire week of reactions. So yeah, so I'll be doing that, and then we'll be going back to our normal schedule. Every now and then, I might still do the normal 2-episode reaction, or not the normal, the 2-episode reactions like I do here and there on occasions. But we'll see how it goes from there. But yeah, so episode 20 I was worried I wasn't going to remember, and then as soon as I thought, like, before I started recording, I was like, should I refresh? I pretty much remembered most of it, because it was a really good episode. So we did have Sarada leaving the village, I almost forgot names, with Chocho. Chocho's kind of being a goofball, following around. They got jumped by, I don't remember his name yet, but apparently he's an Uchiha. And Naruto saved them, showing off some awesome moves, and they went to go meet Sasuke, and then Sasuke thought that he was being jumped by another Uchiha because she awakened her eyes. She didn't even realize it, and he's like sitting there expecting to get jumped by them again, So like, I understand his side of it, but I think there's gonna be like a drama-packed, at least beginning of the episode. I'm really curious how they're gonna resolve it. I wonder if they're gonna make it be really dramatic for like a really long time and him like not believe it, or if she'll just say like, no, I'm your daughter, and he's like, oh, okay. But yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's going to be more than that regardless, but this is going to be very interesting, guys. Without further ado, though, I think we should get into the episode. Excuse me if you heard that burp. But yeah, so I also have a new background, so there's not as much brightness on me until I bring up the other screen for the episode, because the episode starts at a big bright screen. Anyway, so, you guys can go down into the description, and you're going to click the Vimeo link down there. There's a Vimeo link somewhere down there. And you'll go there like usual, you will watch my reaction, and you will come back here and watch my thoughts and theories. I know it's an extra step for you guys, but the good thing is my videos don't get taken down at this rate. I don't know how many reactions you guys watch, like how many different reactors you guys watch, but if you guys watch some other ones, there's a few I watch that their videos get taken down, and either it takes them a very long time to get them back up, or they never get them back up. So I'm watching these reactions and I'm all excited. I'm like, I get really excited to watch other people's reactions, to be honest. I'm like, oh, when they get to this episode, it's going to be great. And then it gets to like that episode and it's taken down. And I'm just like, eh. And I usually just stop the entire series in general. So that's why I'm doing it this way. Enough about that. So yeah, go down there, click the Vimeo link, go do that, come back here, watch my thoughts, theories, predictions, all that good stuff. And yeah, so go do that right now, guys. Alrighty, guys. Holy crap, that episode. That was pretty good. So I like that they resolved if we start from the beginning, I like that they resolved the conflict between Sarada and Sasuke really quickly. I'm glad it wasn't overly dramatic. Like, obviously she's gonna be sad with her dad, pointing a sword at her. But it wasn't, like, it wasn't, oh my god, how could you hold a weapon to your own daughter? Like, Sarada was very understanding and just kind of said, like, Dad, when he went to go grab her, and he, like, came to his senses, and, or, not come to his senses, but he realized who she was. And then, so I do like how they wrap that up, like, nice and quickly. And she kind of vented everything she wanted to get off her chest, and Sasuke was very cold, like he has been. Like, we know Sasuke to be cold, but he's also, you can tell, like, this time, as opposed to when he was younger, that he wants to do the right thing and he wants to tell her, but he believes that the best course of action to keep everybody safe, and I think he used the words something along the lines of keep the future bright, I want to say, or something like that. He wants to keep all this a secret. And I get that. And he's, doing what he believes is right, except he is a little cold about it. I feel like there's probably a better way to handle the situation without just making her hate you. But maybe not, because if you're too nice about it, she might clue in on some stuff, Like, so if he's like, oh, there's some stuff I can't tell you about that is really bad, and, it's gonna make you sad if you know in the future, like, trying to be nice like that, then she's just gonna, like, make assumptions, And that could be even worse. So, it is a bit hit or miss. But yeah, I get the way they handled it is good. I like that. And then, Naruto caught up real quick, and she obviously was upset, so she left, and we got to learn. Okay, so we got to learn. Sorry, I'm trying to do everything in order so I don't miss it as to like how it happened in the episode. So we got some info as to his motivations, Sasuke's motivations. The reason he left the video, the reason why he left the village was because he is seeking for traces of Kaguya, which is interesting word choice, because I want to say she was sealed away at the end of Naruto. For some reason, I'm having a hard time remembering exactly what happened to Kaguya. But I think she was sealed away. I don't think they actually, like, killed her. One second. Sorry about that. That's me talking a lot, so it starts to hurt my throat, makes me cough. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure Kaguya was sealed away, if I'm not mistaken. and he said traces. So I wonder if, like, traces could mean different things. Traces could be that he's, like, following a trail of her, because he said he was trying to find her dimension, right? So it could be like following, trails to try to find her dimension, but it also could mean like parts of her, maybe parts of her chakra or something, are still like out there and causing problems. Kind of like, in a way, kind of like the whole tree deal in the whole past arc with the Sage of the Six Paths and his upbringing and everything. And how he got sent, was it him or his son? I think it was his son. How his son got sent to pick up like the remnants of the tree, both his sons did, and then handled it in different ways. So I wonder if like that's kind of like the remnants of the trees are kind of like the traces of Kaguya being left behind, and that's what he's cleaning up. But either way, I am interested in that. I'm wondering if the traces of Kaguya could be like where these guys came from, these bad guys. Um, Shin Uchiha, which um is apparently the father's name and the son's name, but we'll talk about that in a few. But they have that pale skin that looks different, that almost looks like a Hashirama kind of vibe, is what I get. The whole, like, what are they called? Like, Zetsus or something that were in the past, the old Naruto show. All those evil things they fought in the war. Reminds me of, like, a form kind of like that, and also, like, Danzo's arm. I made that point when I saw all the Sharingans and everything. It made me wonder if, something like that, where he has Hashirama cells, which allows him to have all these Sharingans in his, arms, and he has it on his head, he has it everywhere. So I wonder if that has to do with the traces of Kaguya, maybe? This is just, like, another aftermath of that. But I still wonder who Shin Uchiha is, because he could just be using that name, Like, we only have the enemy's word that that's his name. So that might not be his name. Like, I mean, we've seen that before with Toby and, like, Toby, or Obito pretending to be Toby. And pretending to be Madara. But yeah, so I mean, it could be a fake out. So he might not be like a true Uchiha. He could just be using the name, which is interesting. So speaking of, while we're talking about the enemies, I want to go more in depth about them because we've learned some new info. So Shin Uchiha is the name of the father and the kids, which obviously there's the whole junior aspect, which it could be. There's always like, maybe they just didn't say the junior part, maybe he just named his kid that, but there's also multiple of him. So what I'm thinking it might be is I'm wondering if, I also think, weren't their eyes the same when they went into the Mangekyo? Sorry, I'm really bad at saying that. I think they were the same, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe the kid never actually went into it. Maybe it was only the father that did. But I think it might have been the same if they did. And part of me thinks that they're like a spawn of him, not like a kid like the normal way you make kids, but like it came out of him. And I was thinking, when I first visualized it, I thought maybe, like, he has all these eyes on him, and maybe that's how many of these little mini-me's he can make. So maybe just, like, two of the eyes just, like, start popping out of his arm, and he just, like, spawns another one, It's just a thought. It's a theory. But the problem is if all of those are Sharingans that were taken from somewhere, like I don't know where all these Sharingans came from because Danzo had a bunch too. Like, so where do these people keep finding collections of Sharingans? Um, but regardless, like at least now we can just assume that there is a bunch of them, and I don't know, like there's no way to tell. They can just make up as many as they want, really, at this point. Like for the plot to demand it. But everyone has a different Mangekyo, so if he did have the Mangekyo, then that makes me think it didn't spawn out of the eyes on his arms and stuff, because those wouldn't be that same design. Because everyone has their own design, which means if he did steal those from other people, they'd all be different, maybe. And he has similar abilities because we've seen both of them doing the weapon control thing. So I do think he did use it. That's his like visual thing, is controlling the weapons. And we've seen both a little like the mini me and the father doing it. So maybe it is just like a little clone kind of thing that doesn't have anything to do with like sprouting the eyes that are on his body. Who knows? I don't know. It was just a theory. It does fall apart at a few points, but we'll find out more about that later. It was really creepy that he didn't have teeth, and also really interesting that he wanted to revive the Akatsuki. And let's put that on pause for 1 second because I'm gonna take a sip of water to help my throat and such. Alright. So, he wants to revive the Akatsuki, and through that whole episode, since he said that, I was trying to think of all the different Akatsuki members that existed that could, like, potentially be this guy and trying to, like, come back, And I'm not really sure, because I'm pretty sure we had a wrap-up story for everybody. Like, there might be some I missed, but I'm gonna try to go through the different members to see if anything jogs my memory. So we had I'm not gonna remember their names. We had the bomber guy, the one that made clay bombs, and I can't imagine he'd be anything like this. Like, even going mad, I don't know. He's too into his art, to do something like this, I feel like. And plus, I mean, we saw him die, but I mean, we've seen people die before and come back, but anyway. And then there's the puppet guy, who also died, but once again, we've seen people come back, so I'm not ruling that factor out, which is why I mentioned them. I know a lot of these people I'm going to mention are dead, but, who knows? Madara came back, or... Yeah, he came back, and, obviously it was a lot of work to bring him back, but you never know with these kind of shows. So we had those two. I don't think either one of them, like, their personalities don't seem like it would be. There's the shark guy, once again, like, it looks nothing like him, and I can't imagine, like, that kind of thing. Unless it's, like, a really sick and twisted Obito. Like, somehow, like, part of Obito lived and became this. But I'd be very angry if that was it. Like, I can't dismiss the fact because he was an Uchiha. So, I can't dismiss it, but I'd be very mad because they gave him a good, like, redemption arc at the end there. So if he somehow got brought back as, like, an evil character again, I'd be kind of angry. And then there's Pain, which... No. Something I did think of is, like, what if it was Danzo? Like, imagine if Danzo, like... Because the way Danzo died, he, like, created this like black vortex thing that just like ate a big part of the bridge, right? And ate him too. But in some way you could think of that as like a teleportation maybe. And maybe he has been alive this entire time and just like went mad, like, and maybe like the something about the flesh on his arm and all the Uchiha eyes like somehow like corrupted him, maybe. But I still think he's dead and not coming back. I don't think it's Danzo. But that is a possibility. And obviously I know he wasn't an Akatsuki member. I just wanted to throw out that thought that I had. Who else was part of the Akatsuki? I'm trying to remember like all the fights that existed. There was like the paper girl, and obviously she's not gonna be it. I don't. Were there more? I feel like there were more members. Oh, right. There was like the weird religious dude that could like body link you, and then there was the other guy that had like all the hearts and stuff. I don't know. Both of them don't seem significant enough of characters to bother bringing back. So yeah, I don't think it's any of the Akatsuki we've seen in the past. Unless like it's Obito, but I'd be very pissed if it was, just because he's an Uchiha. Excuse me, sorry about that. So, I don't know. I'm trying to think of any other possibilities of people that we know, but I don't know. It's very interesting. And I do like that I can't figure it out, because that means I'm just gonna be surprised, and that's great. Or maybe one of these thoughts were the case, and I'm not gonna be surprised. Well, I'll still be surprised. Like, that's a good thing about predictions, is because you can be surprised at the not knowing, and then surprised at the fact that you were right, you know? So either way, even when you predict something and get it right, it still, like, kind of makes it, fun to watch. But regardless of that, we had an interesting fight. So he's able to, like, I'm just moving on because, I don't need to spend, an hour talking about, assumptions that may or may not be right. But moving on to the fight that pretty much Sasuke and Shin Uchiha had, because Naruto is too busy protecting Sarada? Either way. And apparently, not Sasuke, Shin is able to control weapons that he has marked. It's a very good key point to note that he has to mark them. But he managed to mark Sasuke's sword, which is why he grabbed it and used the weapon to stab Naruto, which apparently wasn't a big deal, because Naruto just has his super, fox healing, because Naruto OP. But we saw some very nice moves from both of the characters this episode, which was pretty cool, and some selflessness, I guess, which, see, there's something that anime does sometimes where the characters have a set of skills and they don't use them for whatever reason. So here's my thought process. When all the blades were going after Sarada because Naruto's, like, protection barrier thing was falling because he was hurt, Sasuke just jumped in front of them and let them, like, hit him. But I guess that might be, like, the safest bet, because what I'm thinking is we've seen plenty of times ninja like rapidly like using like a shuriken thing and just blocking everything coming at them, right? But that's when they throw something. That's what I'm thinking is the difference here. This was him controlling them, so there's no guarantee that if Sasuke took out a shuriken and smacked one, that it would actually go off course. Which might be why he decided to just take them rather than trying to stop them. Um, we've also seen him stop them in air by doing his like fireball jutsu in the past, I believe. But once again, this is like a different case than throwing. Like we haven't really seen a case like this where someone's controlling the weapon itself. So I can kind of see why, because if he took any one of those risks and it didn't pan out rather than just throwing his body into it, then his kid gets, you know, injured or killed at the worst. So I guess I kind of understand why he did it. It's just a surefire like way to protect his kid. And then Sakura coming in was awesome. Like, we obviously knew she was on her way. We obviously knew she left the hospital with the assumption that she was on the way. And I thought she was going to get captured along the way, used as like a hostage, like they had one of those weird little things, which once again kind of support the theory that it's coming out of his body, because that little shit had the eye too. But yeah, so her entrance was amazing. She just pummeled the guy, which it's really nice that she got like a moment to shine, because I know a lot of people make the jokes, and she has done a lot of good things, but Sakura has been a lot of dead weight throughout like all the series. But she has had her moments, and I'm glad that she had this moment too. She got a good solid hit off, and also sacrificed herself to save her daughter, because Sarada was about to be taken, obviously, and we saw that, and she came in and pushed her out of the way, which I said during the episode that that's a very mother thing to do, which I like that, because that's like, you know, a mother is gonna save her kid. That's just how it is. And even though it was the predictable thing to happen, I definitely like that that's the way it went. And because the thing is a kid being captured is a lot worse than an adult being captured, especially in this kind of world. Like, Sarada doesn't really have... She's not strong, for one, yet. I mean, she's not, like, super weak. Like, she's obviously above the normal person status, because she's, you know, training to be a ninja, but she's obviously not on the level of these three at all, because she's young. So that alone is, like, cause for you don't want her to be the one being captured. And it's also scary, you know, it's scary for a kid. And obviously, Sakura being there, she's not, you know, the strongest, but she's pretty strong. So maybe she'll be able to, you know, hang on at whatever they do. Because, I mean, if the show wanted to get dark, they could torture her for information or something. Or they're just gonna use her as, like, a hostage exchange. Like, we'll let Sakura go if you give us Sasuke so we can, you know, take his eyes. Or it would be even smarter if they said, cut out your eyes and give them to me. And then I'll give you, you know, Sakura, because obviously if they do a hostage exchange kind of thing like this, and Sasuke just walks over there, that gives Sasuke the opportunity to, like, counterattack as soon as Sakura is safe. But if he just rips out his eyes first, then that kind of like helps with the negotiation on the bad guy's side, of course. Like I don't want this to happen, but I'm just thinking of what the bad guys could do. But it might not even come to that because we know that Sasuke, we saw him come out of like a portal thing in one of the other end credits. Was it an end credit? Or maybe it was just at the end of the episode. Either way, but so we saw that, and that means he might be able to jump dimensions, and he might be able to find this dimension. So my theory is, if he's following traces of Kaguya, can he follow traces of this guy and backtrack to like the dimension that they're teleporting to? Or it might not even be a dimension. They might just be going from one place to another, you know? So it might be a place in the real world, but either way, can he follow them there? And if that's the case, then they're probably gonna tell Sarada, and would it be safe for them to go alone? I don't know. They already have a hostage, so they might tell Sarada and Chocho to go back to the village and get, like, you know, inform Shikamaru or something of what they saw. And Sasuke and Naruto are gonna go, like, Sasuke is gonna warp them into this area, and they're gonna fight to get Sakura back. And, you know, just figure out more of what's going on and take down these baddies. So that's a possibility. But the other thing I'm wondering is they might not want to leave him alone, so either they'll send shadow clones, or Naruto might stay behind to bring them back to the village. But I don't know. We'll see, I guess. But yeah. It was a very good episode. Was there more that happened? Because, yeah, so Sakura got captured, and she basically, I'm pretty sure the last thing she said right before the episode ended was like, oh, like in the, you know, den of the enemy or whatever, in the center of enemy territory or something like that. I think I covered just about everything I wanted to talk about. Damn, this video is almost an hour when you include the, you know, uncut, like the full length version is almost an hour. I'm surprised I talked this long. Anyway. But yeah, this was a good episode. I really enjoyed it. But yeah, guys, I think that's gonna do it, for me. And, I'm looking forward to next week where I do both the episodes. I actually have another episode to record right after this of Promise and Neverland. I plan on doing. I didn't expect to spend this much time recording this one, but I think I'm still going to try to get that one recorded. Maybe I'll only edit one tonight, and then edit the other one tomorrow, which would delay it getting out, but there's also no set date for that Promise Neverland episode, because that one's just catch-up. That's the 2 episodes this week is Promise Neverland, so I'll be watching another episode tomorrow and also editing, but either way, thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys are looking forward to the 2 episodes next week, and I will see you guys then. Bye-bye.